Story 1. She woke up to the sound of her own laughter. Her room was empty, but the giggle echoed like someone had just left in a hurry. The walls seemed closer than before, as if breathing with her. He checked the mirror. Her reflection was smiling when she wasn't. Her phone had 36 missed calls from me. Each voicemail was her voice, whispering things she didn't remember saying. "Don't forget what you did," one of them whispered, ending in a soft sob. She hadn't left the house in weeks, but mud tracked across her carpet. In the shower, she found long strands of hair, black, not her blonde. The calendar on her fridge had today circled in red, but no writing. That night, she heard breathing beside her bed, steady and shallow. The breathing stopped when she dared to move. Her lights wouldn't turn on, they only flickered like blinking eyes. She found a note tucked under her pillow. "You're almost ready." The hallway mirror now showed two people, her and someone just behind. She spun around fast, but the hallway was empty. A knock came at the door exactly 3 times, every hour on the hour. On the third night she opened it. No one stood there, but her shadow walked away. She screamed until her voice cracked, but no sound came out. Now the only time she feels safe is when she hears herself laughing again. Story 2. They buried him on Tuesday. He came back on Wednesday, knocking on the kitchen window. His wife screamed, but their daughter just smiled and opened the back door. He didn't look quite the same, dirt behind his teeth, something wrong with his eyes. "I'm cold," he whispered, sitting at the dinner table like he never left. The dog wouldn't stop growling until it went silent and limp under the table. Every photo of him in the house had turned completely black. When they called the police, the line only played static and a quiet hum. At night, he stood by the daughter's bed and watched her sleep. The wife locked her door and pushed the dresser against it, but he knocked anyway. "Let me in," he said over and over until the wood cracked. His skin started peeling by Thursday, but he never seemed to notice. He stared at the walls for hours, mouthing words no one could hear. One morning, the daughter had matching dirt under her nails. The wife found a note in her own handwriting that read, "Don't dig." She dreamed of wet soil pressing down on her and woke up choking on mud. On Friday, the husband dug a hole in the backyard, whistling the song they played at his funeral. "You'll feel better down here," he told her as he held out his hand. The daughter watched quietly from the porch, clutching a dead bird. The ground was soft, like something had already been moving beneath it. That night, only 2 chairs were used at the dinner table. On Saturday, a knock came at the window again. This time it was her. Story 3. Every night at 3:12 a.m., my door unlocks itself no matter how many times I change the lock. At first I thought it was just a faulty latch, but then I heard the footsteps. They never rushed, just slow, patient steps, like they already knew the layout of my home. I installed cameras, but at 3:11 a.m. the footage always cut to static. My cat refuses to stay in the room with me after midnight. One night I whispered, "Who's there?" Something whispered back, "You are." I nailed the door shut. At 3:12 the nails clattered onto the floor like teeth. Whatever it is, it never hurts me, it just watches from the shadows. I started waking up with bruises shaped like fingers across my ribs. Sometimes I smell my mother's perfume, but she died 10 years ago. I moved into the guest room. Now both doors unlock at 3:12. I asked my neighbor if he'd seen anything. He said, "I thought you lived alone." He hasn't spoken to me since. Yesterday I found muddy footprints on my ceiling. I tried to leave town, but my car never starts after 3 a.m. I called a priest. He walked in, turned pale, and ran without a word. I haven't seen him since, but someone keeps calling from his number. Tonight I heard it laugh, a low, rattling sound that wasn't human. I closed my eyes and begged it to go away. It whispered, "You invited me in, remember? Now I do." Story 4. The first text came from my own number. "Don't look outside." I laughed, assuming it was a glitch. Then the second message arrived. "It's staring at you." I turned toward the window, but the curtains were already closed. Still, I felt eyes pressing through the fabric, patient and unblinking. Another message buzzed. "If you open them, you won't be you anymore." I froze, hand inches from the curtain, heart pounding like it knew something I didn't. My phone screen dimmed. Then it lit up with a live video feed of my bedroom from outside the window. I stepped back. The feed showed me moving in real time. I tried turning off the phone, but it wouldn't power down. Kept buzzing with new texts, all from me. Remember what you did. It remembers too. I started deleting the messages, but they kept rewriting themselves word by word. One showed a photo of me sleeping. Something tall and crooked stood by the bed. I live alone and I never sleep with the lights off. I ran to the front door, but the lock had melted like wax. Footsteps echoed behind me, slow, deliberate, and out of sync with mine. I yelled into the empty hallway. A voice replied, "Finally awake, huh?" Every mirror in the house showed me with black eyes and a grin I couldn't feel. My phone chimed once more. "It's inside now. Check the mirror again." I did, and this time I watched myself wave. Story 5. I found a note in my handwriting hidden inside a book I'd never seen before. It said, "Burn this before midnight." I don't remember writing it, but the ink was still wet. The book had no title, only worn leather and pages that smelled like rain and rot. As I flipped through it, I found journal entries detailing my daily life, events that hadn't happened yet. One entry described me reading the book, down to the exact sweater I was wearing. Another ended with the words, "He's watching you now." I looked up and saw nothing, but the air felt crowded. I tried burning it in the sink, but the flames refused to touch the pages. At 11:08 p.m. there was a knock at the door. 3 slow taps, just like the book described. I didn't answer, but the knocking moved to the window, then to the back door. One page warned, "He only needs to be invited once." The lights flickered and every bulb in the house burst at the same time. I screamed, but the sound came out muffled like I was underwater. The book flipped itself open to a page that read, "Too late." Shadows leaked from between the lines, stretching slowly along the walls. I ran outside, but the sky was wrong, too low, too red. A mirror stood in the yard, showing me standing still even as I ran. My reflection smiled and whispered, "You shouldn't have read ahead." I blinked and suddenly I was back inside, holding the book again. The note was gone, replaced by new handwriting. "Try again tomorrow." And now the clock reads 11:59. Only the brave hit subscribe after hearing a story like this. Are you one of them? Prove it. Tap like, then subscribe, if you dare.